What's up guys, Thrift PCQ here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing you the first complaint I received from an eBay buyer and how I dealt with it. Now if this is the first time you're visiting my channel, first off I just want to thank you for stopping by and having a look. This is really my journey on becoming an entrepreneur and starting a small business selling on eBay. Now with that said, I'm going to go over with you the complaint that I received from the eBay customer. Now this was actually in regards to my first sale that I made. It was for an Apple TV 2, and I'll just put a picture of it right here. Alright, I'll give you the gist of it. I tried listing as much as I could in terms of the damages, what's included with it, and what I tested. And so I pretty much tried to give as much as I could. I mean, I did not leave anything off the table with what was wrong with that thing. So I gave photos of the damages that were on it. There was a lot of wear on that Apple TV, and there was a lot of scratches. So I made sure I took pictures of them. I also made sure I included that it's coming with the box, it's coming with the Apple TV of course, and it's also coming with the remote. I actually changed the battery in the remote, so they got a new battery in there, and I gave them an HDMI cable as well to go along with the AC adapter too, so they didn't have to go ahead and try to find an HDMI cable. So that was brand new. I never used that HDMI cable, so they got two brand new things out of it too, so I thought it was a pretty good value. A couple days, probably 4 or 5 days after they received the item, they contacted me directly, and they mentioned that there was an issue with the Apple TV and that there was no YouTube on the Apple TV. Now, first off, I never used the Apple TV for YouTube. I used it mainly for AirPlay. So whatever I used on my iPhone and my iPad, I was mainly putting it on my Apple TV to watch on the TV. So there was YouTube apparently. Well, I did try doing some research to see why it was no longer there, because it was there, yet I think the newer versions or the firmware does not support YouTube. So I found out back in 2015 that they no longer supported YouTube, and you're basically going to have to get a newer version of the Apple TV. So that's how I found out that it was no longer included. So he was upset that I didn't disclose that it didn't have any YouTube on it, because that's what they mainly wanted to use it for. Now, I'm pretty sure when I disclosed whatever I could, I mean, I didn't think that putting in YouTube was something I had to disclose. When I tested it, I actually put a picture there that it turned on and it had two icons in the very beginning. Now the reason why it has two icons is because I'm not connected to the internet yet. So when you connect to the internet, then you'll be able to see all the icons. But just like you do with a phone, like I'm not gonna give them the Apple TV with all these icons that I've been using prior. I wanna reformat it so that it's back to the beginning for them, just like you would a phone. You wouldn't give them with all your apps and all your login information like that. So I did that with the Apple TV, and I didn't want to include my network information when I sent it off to them, so I didn't bother connecting to the internet again. First off, like I come from a customer service based job right now, so I've been doing that for the past 15-20 years now, and like I'm pretty good with how I deal with customers, so I thought this would be no problem with having to deal with this specific customer. So he was upset that it didn't come with it, and he wanted his money back, and he said, what can I do to make it right? So I being the customer service guy I am, I tried to give as much help as I could to try to keep this deal together. So I did my research. I did find out about that YouTube thing not being available since 2015. And then I also tried to see if there was any alternatives I can provide to allowing the customer to watch YouTube on his Apple TV. Now, the first, there was 3 things that I tried looking for, or that I found. And the first thing was, apparently, sometimes it gives you the option to hide icons on the Apple TV. So first I told him to check first to see if YouTube was just hidden. And then in the settings, you can just uncheck it, and to unhide it again so that it'll appear. And then if that wasn't the case, then the other thing was the AirPlay as well. So I mentioned that you can use the iPad or an iPhone if you have to stream it on your Apple TV if you want to watch YouTube. And the third one is, now I don't really condone this just because I don't know what would happen after doing it, but there's this thing called jailbreaking the Apple TV, which would allow you to install things like Kodi, which in terms of that will allow you to install a repository that will maybe have a YouTube app so that you can watch YouTube through Kodi. And that was, it's not, again, it's something I don't condone, but it is an option. So I provided these 3 things to him to see if that would satisfy the issue. Again, I also apologize that I wasn't aware that it didn't include YouTube. So I did my research, I explained to him, I looked into it, and I saw that it wasn't included since 2015. So he replied back, and he said that he has 3 more Apple TVs at his home. So if he wanted to get a 4th, and so if he wanted to use the AirPlay, he would have used his tablet or his iPhone alone. He wouldn't want to use his Apple TV just to AirPlay. And so he really just wanted to, he was upset, but he also, I guess from the email, he also understood that I was sincere, that I really didn't know, and I wanted to try to find alternatives for him to allow him to watch YouTube. And so he basically just told me that I really don't need this with me anymore because I only wanted it for YouTube. Can you give me a partial refund? And he basically mentioned too, I'm not going to leave any feedback, but you also, you just earned yourself an easy $30-40. And I'm like, I don't know if he's just trying to make me feel bad, but I don't know why. Here's the thing, because from what I understood, I tried doing some research, that a lot of the time, if they did file a complaint, the buyer, I think a lot of the time, correct me if I'm wrong, that they usually have the upper hand when it comes to customer complaints and them getting their money back. Now, I don't know if that's the case. Honestly, for me, the thing with YouTube is, how would I have known that? And how would I have known what he wanted to do with the Apple TV? He could have wanted to use the AirPlay for all I knew, but he didn't. He just wanted it for YouTube. And so, I don't know, because I honestly don't think I was wrong for not disclosing it, because I had no idea. But so what happened was he said that part, and I left it at that because I didn't want to keep egging him on to try to get a refund. So if he did want to, I'd assume he would have just filed the complaint already and asked for a refund with eBay. So I never replied back to him after that, just because of that. So he hasn't said anything since then. I haven't heard anything from eBay since then. I even called eBay to even ask and let them know about the situation, I mean, first off, they said try to like speak with the buyer directly and try to confront, like, and try to resolve this together first before you go to eBay. And then I told them the situation, that they really just wanted to use it for YouTube, but how would I have known that there was YouTube on, whether there was or not? So I asked them, do I have a case on this? They didn't answer me, so I have a feeling I would have been out of luck if that case was filed. I don't know, like, obviously if it was damaged and it was something I didn't disclose properly, I'm pretty sure I would have said, okay, I'm really sorry, like, you can send it back and I'll give you the refund. I have no problem doing that. If I didn't call it the way it should have, then that's on me. There's no excuses. So with that said though, like, I'm curious to know if you think I was in the right or in the wrong on this. If you can comment below, that'd be awesome. Just because it's really something I've never dealt with before. This is my first one, like I said, and I just hope I did okay with how I dealt with it, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed learning about this experience that I first had, and I hope you learned from it. And yeah, I'd be curious to see how you dealt with your first complaint. Just leave it in the comment below. And again, want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video. This is Thrift CQ signing out.